We are officially halfway through the booster course pass, and wow, big things are happening in the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe booster course pass. Not only do we have a track that is confirmed for Wave 4, that is the brand new Yoshi's Island track, which looks fantastic by the way, we also have a new character appearing in the game, being Birdo, and also the new ability to customize items. And these two things are going to be the two things that's going to be the focus of this video. And then next time, when the rest of Wave 4 is announced, that's when I'll focus on the Yoshi's Island track and also the tracks that will come for Wave 4 as well. So for this video, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to give my overall thoughts and feelings for the first half of the Booster Course Pass, being waves 1 through 3, and also some new potential characters and predicting what the future waves could have in store for us. So this is kind of like a half-time show in the Booster Course Pass, since we are officially halfway through it. So let's get going. Overall, my thoughts and feelings on the first 3 waves are actually very positive. I found Wave 1 to be a great introduction to the Booster Course Pass, with simple tracks to start off being Paris Promenade and 3DS Toad Circuit. I know people don't really like Toad Circuit that much because it is a very simple track and graphically it doesn't look so good, but for me, I think it was a great way to reintroduce people back into Mario Kart. Don't forget, the original Mario Kart 8 Deluxe came out in 2017, which was 5 years before this Booster Course Pass happened. So people who especially haven't played the game for about 3 or so years once they got bored of the original Mario Kart 8 Deluxe needed a simple track to get them back into the Mario Kart feeling without being too overwhelmed. And I think Toad Circuit does a very good job of that. Granted, I think there could be better tracks that Nintendo could have picked. They could have achieved that same purpose, but Toad Circuit still is a good one. I mean, could have been worse. They could have started it with Figure 8 Circuit or something, so, you know. They did add in some of my favourite tracks in Wave 1, such as Coconut Mall and especially Choco Mountain, which was such a joy to race on. And Wave 1 finished off fantastically with Ninja Highway, a brilliant track to end the wave and get you excited for the future. Wave 2 was really good as well, adding in new city tracks such as New York Minute and Sydney Sprint, which was a major upgrade to Wave 1 city tracks. I found Paris Promenade and Tokyo Blur to be quite boring in comparison to New York Minute and Sydney Sprint. And the additions of fan favourite tracks such as Waluigi Pinball, Calamari Desert and Mushroom Gorge are neat as well. Even though, you know, Calamari Desert, Waluigi Pinball and Mushroom Gorge aren't really my favourite tracks in the franchise, they are really well liked across the whole franchise. So I think that was definitely a good choice for Nintendo to include those in Wave 2. However, I really don't like the changes in Mushroom Gorge. I feel like the mushrooms are a lot more bouncier than they were in the original Wii's version, which isn't good because every time you bounce on these mushrooms you feel more out of control of your vehicle when bouncing off of them. Sometimes you can even bounce off a mushroom to totally skip like 2 other mushrooms, which I don't really like that much. They also brought back the infamous GBA Snowland, one of, if not the worst track in the whole Mario Kart franchise, and somehow made it infinitely better. Sky High Sunday was a nice breath of fresh air, although I do think Nintendo could have done a bit more with it. Overall, I do like Wave 2 a lot, but I do feel like Wave 1 was better. I feel that the track selection in Wave 1 was a lot stronger, with tracks such as Choco Mountain, Coconut Mall, Ninja Highway and Sky Garden. I felt that they were a lot more stronger than the likes of Waluigi Pinball, Calamari Desert or Snowland. But anyway, that's just my opinion. I know people really do like Waluigi Pinball, but I do find that track to be very overrated. But overall, still is a good wave, but not as good as Wave 1. Wave 3, however, was unbelievable. Like, come on. It had tracks such as Maple Tree Way, Berlin Byways, Peach Gardens, Boo Lake, and of course 3DS Rainbow Road, which are some of the best tracks in the entire game, let alone the Booster Course Pass itself. The wave was just fantastic from start to finish, and a great way to mark the halfway point of the Booster Course Pass. Definitely the best wave so far. So Wave 3 so far has got to be my favourite wave of the Booster Course Pass, with Wave 1 in second and Wave 2 being my least favourite. So yeah, that was kind of just like a very brief summary of the waves so far of the Booster Course Pass, but if you want to hear my more detailed review of each of the tracks from the first 3 waves, then be sure to watch my reviews of each of these waves, which I will link as an end card at the end of this video. What's in store for us in the future of the Booster Course Pass? When Wave 3 got released, Nintendo introduced custom items, where you get to pick which items appear in the game. So finally, we can get rid of the two worst items in the game, being the coin and the blooper. Or, if you're especially evil, you could have a race with just blue shells. Which is, well, I'll let you draw your own conclusion to that. That in itself was such a great new addition, which was totally unexpected since Nintendo didn't advertise that at all, it kind of just happened really. But Wave 4 did something unbelievable. They released a new character in the Booster Course Pass, being Birdo, who initially was in Mario Kart Double Dash and in Mario Kart Wii, and has returned for Mario Kart 8. Well, yeah, I'm not too excited about playing as Birdo specifically, so it wasn't the fact that Birdo's being introduced that made me excited. It's the fact that this has opened a new door for what Waves 4 through 6 can introduce in terms of new characters, which is really exciting. Well, yeah, I'm not super excited to see Birdo, but I am super excited to see maybe Diddy Kong return, or Funky Kong. Maybe Nintendo can reintroduce these new characters in Wave 5, since there are fan favourites, and I do think fans have been asking for Diddy Kong and Funky Kong for a long time. And if Nintendo do release Diddy Kong or Funky Kong in Wave 5, I'll be really excited to race as them. And maybe, who knows, we could even expect a brand new character in the Booster Course Pass in the last wave, in Wave 6. Maybe Nabbit, or Boom Boom, or maybe even Pauline, which would be great to see. I think Pauline is quite likely to appear in the Booster Course Pass because Nintendo's been advertising Pauline an awful lot, being Super Mario Odyssey and also Pauline being in Mario Kart Tour as well. I do think that Pauline will be very likely to appear in Wave 6 or maybe even Wave 5 of the Booster Course Pass, along with Diddy Kong and Funky Kong. I'm not super sure about Nabbit or Boom Boom, that's a little bit far-fetched, but who knows, you never know. I mean, I didn't even expect custom items to be a thing, so you never know with Nintendo. So in terms of the new characters, I predict Diddy Kong and Funky Kong to return in Wave 5, and maybe two new characters being, well, most likely Pauline, but maybe if there were to be another one, maybe Nabbit in Wave 6. In terms of the items, I think that the custom items introduced in Wave 3 was just the beginning. I don't think anything will happen in Wave 4 in terms of the new items, however, we can expect to see at least two new items in the next few waves, due to there being two empty item slots where you go to the menu where you get to choose your own custom items. So in Wave 5, I expect to see a fake item box return. Honestly, I don't really know why Nintendo got rid of the fake item box. I honestly love the concept of it. I really like how Nintendo makes an item box that effectively trolls you as bait. I think it's a really clever concept. But if Nintendo are going to bring back the fake item box, they need to make it like it is in Mario Kart 64. Being the fact that it looks really similar to the real item box with a small change, like the question mark being upside down or something like that. Not like in Mario Kart Double Dash or in Mario Kart Wii where they completely recolorized it, because that just totally ruined the fake item box as a whole. So if Nintendo were to bring back the fake item box, they need to make it a lot more similar to the real item box. So that could be maybe what Nintendo could introduce in Wave 5, and as for Wave 6, I think there's going to be a brand new item that we've never seen before. I have no idea what this item could be, or whether this item is even going to exist. I mean, who knows, it may bring back the power block or something. So in terms of new items, I predict the fake item box to return in Wave 5, and maybe, just maybe, a brand new item to appear in Wave 6. Again, these new items and new characters are just speculations. They're not data mined, they're not leaked, or they're not confirmed by Nintendo or anything. These are literally just my predictions of what's going to happen. So please, take the information you just heard with a grain of salt. Overall, I think that Waves 1 through 3 were a great success. However, I do find it a bit strange how so far we haven't had a single Double Dash track come back. Yeah, I know that in Wave 3 we were supposed to have GC and Waluigi Stadium before Nintendo changed it to Wii Maple Treeway at the last second, but I still do find it a bit odd. So hopefully in Waves 4 through 6 we'll see a lot more Double Dash tracks in it. I also wish that there were more SNES tracks in the game. We only have 3 SNES tracks in the whole Mario Kart 8 Deluxe game, plus the Booster Course Pass, those being Donut Plains 3, Mario Circuit 3 and Rainbow Road. I'd love to see a Vanilla Lake or a Choco Island or a Cooper Beach return, since I don't feel like that SNES tracks gets enough love or attention from both Nintendo and the fans in general. However, I am impressed by the amount of GBA tracks. in the Booster Course Pass. Also, I do think that the quality of the GBA tracks are very impressive, especially GBA Snowland. Nintendo really has a good record of recreating GBA tracks in Mario Kart 8. I don't know what it is, which just makes me wish that there were more SNES tracks, because SNES tracks and GBA tracks are very similar. So I thought if it was this easy to recreate really good GBA tracks, surely they could do the same thing with SNES tracks. But anyway, I don't know. I would also love to see a lot more retro Bowser's castles. I mean, doesn't anyone find it strange how we have 4 Rainbow Roads in the game but only 1 Bowser's castle? So hopefully we'll see more Bowser's Castle in the future. Maybe a GBA Bowser's Castle, or maybe even a GCN or a DS Bowser's Castle. Although, on the whole, I really am enjoying the Booster Course Pass so far, and I can't wait to see what the second half of the Booster Course Pass will give us. So far, I'm going to rate the first 3 waves 1, 2 and 3 of the Booster Course Pass, a collective score of 8 out of 10.